Hi, we're talking about the foods you need to eat to produce the happiness neurotransmitters serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin control our moods. Anytime we're in a bad mood, depressed, anxious, irritable, in a place of lack, emotionally, wanting defensiveness, paranoia, and every and any mental health issue you can think of, these all have to do with the deficiency of either serotonin or dopamine and then oxytocin. Now, to start with, we're going to start with a food that is super important to neurotransmitter formation, and that would be fruit. Now, fruit gives us three nutrients that we must have to make serotonin and dopamine: potassium, vitamin C, and folate. Humans only get potassium and vitamin C from fruits and vegetables, fruits, of course, being the best sources of vitamin C. Now, people say they can get folate from liver, but here's the deal. If we could get folate from liver, we never would have evolved on fruit. Humans have always eaten fruit. We were always hunters and gatherers, and the food we gathered was fruit. Now, these are organic plums and nectarines, I think that's what they're called. And they are organic. I choose organic because I don't like to put poison in my body. Glyphosate is poison, or dicamba is poison, 2,4-D is poison. I'm not a big poison fan. So I do organic. And I love growing these, of course, too. And I love that I live in a state where fruits can be grown. So that's always a good thing. Plums are great for you. Nectarines are great for you. You do not have to eliminate fruit on a high animal protein diet. So we'll put these over here. Next, a very important food on your high protein animal protein diet would be meat. Now, this is 5 pounds of rack of lamb, and this is 3 pounds of tenderloin. I'm going to put this in the fridge because it's really hot and not cut it up until later tonight. I have to do a bunch of cooking tonight. So with tenderloin is my favorite red meat beef because it doesn't have any fat in it. Now, I love bison as well, and I love bison steak, sirloin, whatever, because bison isn't very fatty and it's super high in heme iron. The tenderloin for me is my favorite beef. I also do like porterhouse, but this is a tenderloin, a whole long one that I'm going to cut into smaller pieces later. And I'm going to go ahead and put both of these in the refrigerator now because it's very hot out. And I want to make sure that my meat stays cool. Okay, what's next? Well, let's talk about dairy. So this is milk. Milk is so good for us. Humans evolved first as hunters and gatherers, and then we evolved into nomadic herders. Nomadic herding meant we started milking animals. So the animals that we herded were animals that made milk. We didn't herd tigers and lions and animals that it's impossible to milk. We herded sheep and goats and oxen, and then eventually breeding the cattle that we have today. So milk, again, I choose organic milk. I use all kinds of different brands of organic milk. I'm not a snob about what I buy, as long as it's organic. And again, this is not going to have any pesticides or herbicides in the food the animals were raised with. And it's not treated with any kind of hormone for the animal to produce more milk, which I personally think could be bad for our boobies, and I am always team booby. So this is part 1 on foods that make serotonin. Yay! Oh, it's not off yet. So